Still trying to figure out where Phyrexia all will be one is going to be fitting in today's standard. Looking around, there's been a lot of trial and error, by the way, and all on the back of my ranked play. So if you notice, it's not great rank, but we're still trying to figure out where these guys are sitting. So I took a lot of L's in order to come up with something that resembles a deck I would want to really play, and finding a new place for some of the cards, specifically Mondrak Glory Dominus. I've been excited about this card. Being able to double all the tokens is really crazy. It's really amazing. I can see a couple of different builds where this is going to be effective on. I wanted to showcase kind of a, just a regular tokens deck with the hideaway card, but it just didn't seem to have the oomph that I wanted. This, however, seems to have the oomph I wanted. For the most part, we are expensive. We are at 3.3 average cost, but right now, new set just came out. We're doing a lot of trial and error to figure out how this actually does in action and see what we could cut and what we could add in. So, why Mondrak for this deck? Well, if one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. Wandering Emperor creates samurais. Eternal Wanderer creates a different kind of samurai. We're going to throw in one Eternal Wanderer to this just to play test it a little bit, try to figure out if it's actually good or if it's trash. I'm thinking that it's really good with the Archangel of Wrath, so maybe it has a place in some spots of the meta, maybe. Right, being able to flash this back in, but we wouldn't be able to kick it. So I don't know how this is sitting. Maybe for the Blood Tithe Harvester, possibly. We'll see how it does in action, but I do like those samurais with double strike. I think those are really good. Missing vigilance on them, but double strike is always powerful. Vraska, I think is actually pretty good. The proliferate is really good with the, we might want to flip a wedding announcement, but it's nice to get that draw effect. Probably not doing it on the wedding announcement, but Reckoner Bankbuster, being able to draw more cards, is very strong. So we're going to be running her in here. Also, the -2 is brilliant removal, turning things into treasures. Pretty nice. I do like that -2. The -9 for this deck in particular, we're not too worried about poison. Though I love poison as a mechanic, we didn't see a whole lot of cards come out that make a poison deck super overbearingly strong, in my humble opinion. I've been able to work around most of the poison stuff that has come out. A lot of people are playing almost limited formats and with varying effects of effectiveness. Varying degrees of effectiveness. Yes, I know how words work. But let's talk more about Mondrak. Mondrak is going to be doubling any kind of tokens. That means that the Goblin gets 2 treasures. I'm pretty sure if you copy a creature, let's just read this. Create a token that's a copy of another target non-legendary creature you control. So, hypothetically, you could copy Archangel of Wrath and do that twice. That's 9 in the air coming at you. That's pretty strong. Now, I do think that is how that works. We're going to be trying to playtest that, make sure that that is true. But not only do you get extra treasures with the Fable and the Goblin, you also get extra tokens of the copied creature that you have on the field. On top of that, you get 2 1/1s from the wedding announcement. You get 2 pilots. You get 2 treasures. You get 2 blood. All of that seems really strong to me. So Mondrak seems like she's looking for a place right here in a kind of deck like this that's trying to create a bunch of tokens. So How this is going to fare? Had a slightly different version of this deck that I finally broke the losing streak and was able to come in and get some victories with this here deck. So I'm happy with where it's heading. This was a lot of trial and error, but I think I'm onto something with Mondrak and Fable of the Mirror Breaker. That's something I'm very excited to see in play. Haven't tried it yet, but really looking forward to that, especially now thinking about being able to copy the token that you're creating from another creature. Just that in itself is making Mondrak look like a good fit for this deck. And let's look at the sideboard a little bit. We're not going to get too into it. Just another Wandering Emperor, just in case Eternal Wanderer looks really crappy in a matchup. Of course, Unlicensed Hearse, it kind of takes the place of Farewell, along with some Depopulates to wipe the board for us. Yep. And Lord of the Third Path, in case they have artifacts and enchantments that we want to deal with. We're trying to do a little bit of everything here, but mostly we're trying out Mondrak in a deck that I think works for Mondrak. Let's get into it. No need to waste much time really talking much of this other stuff over, except for the fact that we are using Sheoldred's Edict in this deck as well. This, I think, is good, mostly because you could choose to get rid of a token. I'm not sold on that ability. Sacrifices each opponent sacrifices a non-target or non-token creature, which I think is a little bit stronger, but each opponent sacrificing a planeswalker seems very strong indeed. I think that that's going to be worth keeping a couple of Sheoldred's Edicts around. We do have Rite of Oblivion that we have to remember exists, so maybe Sheoldred's Edict does not beat Rite of Oblivion, but you do have to sacrifice a something for the Rite of Oblivion, but you get to cast it twice as well. But since this is new, we are going to try this out in here. I think, especially with the Mondrak, Rite of Oblivion is obviously the better choice. But since Sheoldred's Edict is new, and I'm trying to figure out where these cards sit in today's standard, we're going to be running a couple of them. Other stuff, Bankbuster, Fable, Blood Tithe Harvester, great combination. Yep, we're just running standard stuff. Really normal stuff. No one drops. Could put, maybe a cut down in there. But, I mean, we got a lot of removal. We have an awful lot of removal, so we should be good with just this. And really, Archangel of Wrath, especially later on in the game, I would rather pay the kicker price of 1 black and deal 2 damage to a creature, and then, gain 2 life, get a big creature on the board, rather than playing a bunch of cut downs. Cut down is very good, but we're not running it in this deck mostly because we're completely out of room for anything else but our core. So let's get into it. We'll talk about how this deck performed and what I think would make it better. I already touched on some of those things already. We've already discussed some of those things, but we'll get into further detail about that after the game and see if that still holds, or see if maybe cut downs are going to be better in here than I thought. Maybe we need to make this a little bit cheaper. We're going to talk about it. But thank you for joining today. This is Coffee Stout. We are in the arena. We are trying out some of the new cards from Phyrexia. All will be one, and what I think will actually pass the test of time. We shall see in just a moment. See you in the arena. Opting to play first, of course. Something that's been happening to me all of the days, getting stuck on 2 lands. It's a real feels bad moment. We have plenty of land in the deck. We do have both colors, but there's nothing really castable. I mean, maybe a Blood Tithe Harvester, maybe a Go for the Throat, but I don't like the hand in general, and the land base was terrible. This, however, I can deal with. Okay, we didn't get any of our cool lands. That come in untapped if you control 2 or less. That's okay. Blossoming Sands from the opponents. We don't have any turn 2 plays either, but getting to turn 3 seems fine. Maybe leading out with the Emperor. Or a wedding announcement. Rite of Oblivion looks really nice. We do have Mondrak now in hand. So wedding announcement into Mondrak seems pretty solid. Let's see what kind of Selesnya nonsense the opponent is doing. Draws for turn. We do see a mana, so another Plains comes out. I'm wondering if he's trying to do some poison stuff. If so, we're going to take advantage of that. He is not. He's using the Rumor Gatherer. So far, nothing to suggest that, you know, he's playing a bunch of new stuff. So we're going to swing. He's not going to block with the Rumor Gatherer. We will Mondrak here. And now we get to create 2 humans. Isn't that beautiful? Yes, sir. Alright, he has his own wedding announcement. Looking at that Mondrak a little bit closer, maybe wondering if he should put that in his deck. And I'm actually wondering if we should be using Rite of Oblivion and... Okay. Alright. Mondrak for the win. Cool. So, we won the first round. What do we think he's going to be doing? Probably growing his field out quite a bit. So, maybe a couple of these depopulates. And I am sorry, the Eternal Wanderer. You're going to have to go. What? No, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Maybe a depopulate. Nah. Man, oh man, oh man. Decisions are hard. Definitely want these Rite of Oblivions. Kind of wish I had a third Rite of Oblivion in here, but I did not think to put one in. Maybe going down. Yeah, I am sorry. We are not using these 2 cards in here. It makes our deck a little bit cheaper. We're down to 3.2, but Steel Seraph could actually be laid down here. So we actually have quite a cheap deck at this point. A lot of 4 drops, though. Let's see if we can make that same thing happen. Again, 2 lands. Ugh, feels bad. We do have Sheoldred's Edict. We do have a Harvester. We have a couple of things that we could do here. So I'm a little bit more likely to keep a hand like this. You shouldn't. We do have a 45% chance of drawing land. Yeah. Do we want to get rid of that? Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, it gains Death Touch. If it's the second time, all creatures you control gain Death Touch. I don't think we have to remove that. We do need to get to another land. Hopefully putting this Harvester out doesn't nuke the Harvester as soon as Fable of the Mirrorbreaker comes out. Opponent didn't miss a land drop, so, you know, the Shuffler should make it to where we don't miss a land drop. Halo Fountain, doing some older stuff. Right on, I respect it. Oh, no mana. Okay, so this turn is going to be all about trying to get a piece of that pie. A piece of mana. Sorry. Sheoldred's Edict probably gonna go away. We draw another one. Alright, looks like we're missing a land drop. 25 in the deck. We're getting up to a 50% chance of drawing land. Why does it always seem like land is the thing that makes or breaks? Especially in the arena. Seems like in real life it's not that big of an issue, but in the arena it is totally 100% an issue. Coming out with Fable, creating our little 2/2, and we won't attack. Maybe we've actually been able to, you know, back him off a little bit. All right, he wedding announcements. He wedding announcements and swings with 1. Thinking about taking it. We could always go for the throat, kill it. All right, land is in hand. Don't think he's the kind of guy that's going to be playing many planeswalkers. It doesn't seem like it. So we could get rid of that Shieldred's Edict. Because, like, I don't know. Shieldred's Edict actually does hit. We're going to try it. No, we're not. It's too unpredictable, really. We'll just discard the 1. We'll get an Angel out of it. And we could Bankbuster, or not Bankbuster. We could Bankbuster here. But I think right now we're going to swing. See what the opponent decides to do. If he double blocks, we, you know, go for the throat, kill one of the tokens. He does. That's fine. This will allow us to keep creating treasure. And because of that treasure, we're actually able to do something like this. Another Archangel of Wrath, huh? Civil Servant. Haven't seen that card. There's a lot of Streets of New Capenna that he's playing. A lot. Like, a pretty obnoxious amount of Streets of New Capenna. Again, there are a couple of things that we could do. But I'm really thinking that a Steel Seraph here would be good. Alright, I'm going to target this. We're going to give it flying. And we're going to swing in for 2. Gets a little bit more treasure. A couple of things we could do. But I think passing the turn is the right move. Getting a nice little blocker on the ground. Blocks the Connoisseur pretty nicely. We don't want to be blocking with any of this stuff. I don't think we're going to see much in the way of removal from the opponent at all. Doesn't seem like we will. Glad he's sticking around with this, like, kind of a strange deck, right? Connoisseur, Civil Servant, Halo, and a Wedding Announcement, just because it works so well with creating tokens, which is obviously something that he wants to do. I've missed land drops. He's missed land drops. It's been quite the game. And now we are getting the long rope. We'll cut back as soon as this roping is over. Maybe he's just gone. And that, my friends, is an Eternal Roper. Went back to him. He's gone. Too much board presence. Too much board state. I take wins like that. An interesting thing is you do not have to actually be an overspender asset. This account spends $50 every release. And that's it. Still trying to play the competitive side of things. Don't need all of the cards, just need the right ones. So, first guy gave us a rope. Don't like this hand. The only thing that makes me almost want to keep it is the Wedding Announcement. But we're really hoping to draw too many things, and here we go. That seems pretty strong. If I could get 1 more mana. Yep. Arena's been doing this to me with mana all day long. I love it. Now, see, it's just building anticipation. We will draw the land, right? No. We won't draw the land. We're going to be aggressive and play the Harvester. But we are holding up Go for the Throat, so we can still hold aggression on the opponent's turn. Maybe Blood Tithe Harvester isn't ready to come out yet. He did not have any land himself, so we're looking okay. So you got blue, so we got to watch out for the blue. Draws a card. Does he get his 4th land? He does. Oh, okay, that Brutal Cathar. Well, may discard up to 2. The thing is, I don't think I want to discard anything. Maybe a Go for the Throat and a Harvester? We don't have to discard, but like, I don't know if that's right. We see the Brutal Cathar. I want to actually submit 0 right here, guys. Now we can Harvester. Get that guy cooking. On the opponent's turn, we could Go for the Throat, get rid of something. Probably that Brutal Cathar. He's actually just going to go to my turn. I don't want that Brutal Cathar constantly flipping. He's trying to flip it right now. Now we have a pretty good threat on the field. We do have Wandering Emperor to contend with, but we have an Emperor of our own who would be ahead. Or we could Sheoldred's Edict on the Emperor. And we have a backup Blood Tithe Harvester. So we're going in. No use being overly cautious. March. Okay, well, March it is. Could just move to the opponent's turn. And I think we do that. Want the Steel Seraph to be a little bit bigger. I mean, I know that the true strength of the Steel Seraph is... Dang, no land. The true strength of the Steel Seraph is actually what it does to other creatures, but I don't mind doing it like this. Should we discard? Haven't seen many creatures and stuff from the opponent, but maybe we just Harvester and pass. But I don't think we want to swing into a possible Wandering Emperor just to get 2 damage off. It just seems, I don't know, too much of a risk. Alright, alright, alright. Might as well create a blood while we can. Huh. Wonder why that's so expensive. We will lose 2 life here. Why don't you Go for the Throat? Sheoldred's Edict can still find a Planeswalker. Completely tapped out opponent? Alright, go here, and Vigilance it is. Goes to the opponent's turn. We could think his, oh, there's a Brutal Cathar. Okay. We have an answer for it. We do have an answer for it. We do get mana, which is fantastic. Should we throw our answer at it right now? Yeah, because it flips it too, right? And we could just go big or go home. He can possibly counter this. He does not, though. Nobody plays counter spells. Okay. that guy. We are going to get Vigilance again. Basically gets free swings off. We're a little low on cards. It'll be nice to draw something that could draw cards. He takes... Okay. The Archangel. Another Brutal Cathar, though. See, that's a little bit rough. Are we fighting over this? It is a tap effect. I think we're fighting. Alright. Sacrifices a creature token. Non-token creature. That's the one we want. And you know what the beauty is we still have enough we still have enough mana to cast the Wandering Emperor on the opponent's turn. Destroy all creatures. Copy that. It was a hard fight over a Steel Seraph and an Archangel of Wrath.
Run away. You'll be safe. Guards, to me.
Alright, plus.
I have got new moves to teach you.
We'll end turn. Obliterator. Okay. I'm not the biggest fan of Obliterator. But I think in this case it actually looks pretty good. Nope, go to my turn. Wedding Announcement looks really nice. Let's do this and kind of set a trap for him. Because he might see that he could get the Wandering Emperor off the field, but he doesn't know about the second Wandering Emperor. Setting a bit of a trap. Invokes Despair. Guess he never didn't have it, did he? Alright. Coming in. Obliterator likes to swing, but he actually held back. Impressive, opponent. Impressive. Starting to build up our field a little bit. Now here's the thing. If we just hard cast the Archangel of Wrath, would he be tempted to swing? Better not risk it. The Obliterator is enough to hold back, so I was kind of right about Obliterator being nice on control decks, which is what we are dealing with here today. Gix's Command. Okay. Power 2 or less, so he gets to destroy this creature. He gets to make the Obliterator bigger. I would say kind of a waste. There's a swing. Here is the Emperor. Does he have the counter spell? No, he does not.
You started this fight, but I'm going to end it. I am almost sad to see you go.
Blood Tithe Harvester, not what we're really looking for here. Grows of Samurai, swings. Alright, goes to combat. Works out pretty well. We're going to end turn here. There's no use to be over ambitious. Alright, sacrifices the Dross Pits, draws a card. That's not a good land. Wait. No, that's actually better than the one from Streets of New Capenna because you had to pay 4. So not bad, not bad, not bad at all. Scoured Barrens. Really budget land base for the opponent. Goes to my turn. I think I'm happy with that. Put it on him.
I've got the edge in this fight.
5. I'm just swinging here just in case he has an Emperor. Then if he doesn't have a counter right here, we win. I have 21 minutes left. He has 26 minutes left. I'm sorry, I take way too long. I understand that. But that was enough to handle that guy. I didn't see any counter spells from him. What did we see, however? A lot of new stuff. A lot of kind of removal. So, but creature removal. So cut down's going to hit it. Go down a Bankbuster. We didn't see any Planeswalkers at all. No graveyard shenanigans, but we can maybe throw in these Lorens here. Maybe go down the... Yep. Maybe not. Maybe those guys aren't great in this deck. It's a shame because there's a lot of reasons why you would want them, but I didn't see any reason to want them. Maybe sideboards for those. Rite of Oblivion, Wedding Announcement. Wedding Announcement almost makes me want to keep this hand. It would be good against his Brutal Cathars and stuff like that. We're going to try it. We won the first game, so we could be a little bit loosey-goosey here. See if he can pull out a win. Rite of Oblivions. Bankbuster. Wedding Announcement. Karn Silex. Alright, interesting. That definitely has the ability to do some major damage to us. So we're probably Rite of Oblivion, sacrificing the human, killing the Karn's Silex. You pay X, destroy each non-land permanent with X or less. 3. He popped that immediately, didn't he? Wow. I gotta admit, I did not foresee him casting that immediately. Yeah, that really kind of ruined up my day a little bit. Gotta get something on the board, but I think we're okay for now. Painful Quandary. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player loses 5 life unless they discard a card. I do not know why that card is not played more frequently. It's very good. But we will pay the 5 life. Actually, we're going to discard Rite of Oblivion. Then we're going to destroy that. Get it off of the field. Don't like that at all. Swamp. Pass. Mondrak. We don't want the opponent drawing cards. The only thing Lauren is here to do is do some extra damage to the opponent. And, yeah, do some extra damage to the opponent. That's what it is here for. Get another Plains from him. And, is that it? Yeah, that's it. So, go ahead and Emperor. Haven't seen any counter spells from the opponent, so probably gets through. We're gonna minus.
Kamigawa, and I will protect my people. Guards, to me.
Cool. Let's go to my turn. Wrath, huh? Not the greatest. Swing. He might use removal here and save the Mondrak. He does not. So we Mondrak anyway because we roll like that. And now we create 2 Samurais.
May your blade strike true.
Is that fatal? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? Not quite. It is if we... Wait. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We could plus on something. And then Archangel of Wrath. So we do have Fatal set up. And he farewells. Farewell, indestructible, doesn't get past farewell, but let's just make absolute sure. I don't think it does. I think we lose this Mondrak anyway. Yeah, we do. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to be that guy that like, hey, why'd you do that? Steel Seraph can come out. Have some fun with the opponent. Archangel does damage to the face, but doesn't hit any creatures. So I think we Steel Seraph. Yeah, I paid 4 life to just kind of see what was going on there. See if we could actually...
Strike fast and strike hard.
You know, make sure that indestructible worked that way. Never know. Maybe bad code. Never know. We're keeping the pressure on, though. We could use Rite of Oblivion with the Wandering Emperor because we're probably definitely creating a Samurai next turn. We'll get around this guy. A little control player. Shieldred. That's a good one to Rite of Oblivion. Land. Gross. Okay. There we go.
Let your blade
Rite of Oblivion on the Shieldred of the Apocalypse, sacrificing the Samurai opponent. Gone, baby. Okay. So I think we're still... Man, I want to go lifelink almost because I haven't seen a Wandering Emperor. He's going to make me look real stupid if he had Wandering Emperor right there. Move on. We're back up to 17 health. He is at 8, but he definitely has cards in hand. That is a Brutal Cathar, which is not what we wanted to see at all. Nothing in graveyard, so maybe Takenuma comes out as land, but I'm going to hold it. As said, we've seen no counters from the opponent right now, or so far. So I'm happy casting this for 6, killing here, hitting here. Alright, up to 21 health. Yes, sir. Alright, putting a 1/1 counter on the Archangel of Wrath. And then passing turn.
I've got new moves to teach you.
Yeah, we're going to do this. Give him a lifelink, because why not? See what the opponent can respond with. He still has 4 cards. So, very, very high chance that he has some sort of response to this. He does not. He passes to us. We give this Vigilance. Because now, we have to make sure that we actually get a hit in. He could kill one, we still Archangel of Wrath. That gets around him. Uh-huh. It does come in tapped. So, it's nighttime, buddy. And right to the face. Gotta say, good game, opponent. Good game. It was hard fought. We got around a Farewell. We got around a Karn's Silex and Painful Quandary in that one. Where in the heck are his other cards? Is that all he played? Well, I guess it was shorter than I thought. Alright, let's move on. So we have the Bloodcleave Cliffs. So we could drop Haunted Ridge into Bloodcleave Cliffs. We do not have our third... We do have our third color. We have white right here. So we drop this first. Forest. Thirsting Roots. Search your library for a basic land. So we got new cards, boys. Here comes the Plains. Rot Priest. Alright. Let's see if he drew exactly what he needed to win. He threw that down. Let me make sure this is the one. Unless you control 2 or fewer lands. Right, that. And Rot Priest dies. Gotta get off the field right now. Hopefully he didn't draw 3 of the 4. Duelist. Okay. We could back him up a little bit with the wedding announcement. Or we could Fable here and kind of give up the... Oh, we don't have our second red. So I am going to Fable here. Or I mean second white. Second white. We don't have that Fable or Wandering Emperor going. Another mana. Green again. Homestead Courage doesn't matter though, right? Because it's only Toxic 1. Yeah. Discard up to 2 cards. Huh. This and this, I think. Nah, I want that card draw here. This is our only removal we have. We could actually Wedding Announcement and get some stuff going. So I think Varska could go as well. We got our second white. That's all we needed to do. We could Shadow's Edict. Non-token creature. Yes. You go ahead and sacrifice that now. 3 green up, but hexproof doesn't save it, which is probably what he was kind of banking on. Get some treasure going, get a Reckoner Bankbuster going, draw cards. It would be really nice to get a Mondrak back into hand. We had to discard it to survive. Okay. See, magic is easy. This is 4, and then we lack 1. I think we go with it. It's big enough to deal with the beast. And no attacks. He's got that viral spawning. And he casts it again. Okay. You want to swing? You do? If I sack 2 creatures, it gains indestructible. I am actually going to crew. I would rather give up the Bankbuster than the Mondrak. That might be wrong. Yeah. Yep. But that Mondrak could go a long way. Definitely didn't want to sack the Kiki-Jiki or the Gabo. Interesting. So, coming down here, we're going to do a wedding announcement. Then, we're going to tap a mana to copy that, swing for 2 Gabos, creating 2 treasures. That gives us enough to, by far, to do the Wandering Emperor. We get 4 treasures for that. Pay 1 for 4 treasures and 2 damage. I'm all about that life. And now we get to... Oh, wait. No, we get to draw a card. Because we swung with 2. I think next turn we're just chilling for that reason. Yeah, you can proliferate. There's a 2. There's a proliferate. Pass. Swings in for 5, 6, 7. Pay for it. Exile.
Anyone who harms my
that.
people must contend with me. This is what you get for hurting my people.
No cards left. So we come up and take this block here. Then we go for the throat. Pay 2 more. And that's a scoop. I called it. Maybe some Durestas would look good in here. Again, we are going to ditch this stuff. Maybe this just isn't the deck for those guys. Maybe I'm just not sold on them. Those Planeswalkers. The Vraska and the Eternal Wanderer. Maybe it's just I'm not sold on them. Again, still Seraph, I still think is good. Archangel of Wrath, I think is better. That's just the way that goes. Wow. We won the first game. I'm going to keep it. And of course, he's right into poison, so that was a greedy keep. Really greedy keep. But we got the Mondrak. We just have to get rid of that Venerated Rot Priest, and we should be okay. Yeah. So here's the thing. I am about 96% sure that he has a way to protect this, and we just get a bunch of poison counters. But do I care about game 2? Maybe give him game 2? Well, I didn't give it to him. I'm not going to, I don't think. Probably. Maybe. That's a fight. That is a fight spell. Which is another poison and then another poison. See, Homestead Courage. Yep. That's another poison. Alright, let me look at this a little bit. Comes a target of a spell. So let's create another 1/1. We're gonna Wandering Emperor because that's technically not a spell, that is an ability. So it shouldn't proc that. Boon of Safety. Do shield counters dealt damage or destroyed? Exiles should be fine here. Alright. What else you got? Should have probably put the Homestead Courage on it. Wait. That's tapped. Damn it. Come up for the block. Try to target it now. Alright. Goes to my turn. I will play this. I will then play Wandering Emperor. I will create
I'm not overconfident.
this.
You're just and we must protect the people.
Oh, that's a sorcery. Yep. So, yep, that's a loss. Pretty big misplay on me right there at the end, but he probably had to proliferate something or another anyway. Cut down coming in, duress going down 1. That was a my bad, guys. That was a my bad. The final round, the final boss, Poison. Isn't it lovely? Alright, I gotta be careful about which lands I'm putting down, especially they look the exact same basically. Alright. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more. We are not getting a turn 1 untapped land to make the rest good. Let's take a look. Non-creature, non-land. Boon of Safety, Viral Spiraling. We got the Singer. Bunch of land. Hand not looking great for the opponent. Tossing that away for him. Unless you control 2 or more other lands. Alright. Let's start to build out a field presence. He's going to get the Slaughter Singer down. He's got Toxic 2. And then whenever another creature enters the battlefield, gets +1/+1 till the end of turn. Board. Why don't you sacrifice a non-token land? Or creature, not land. Non-token land. I guess treasures are kind of like token lands, right? Build out that board presence. Let the wedding announcement do its job. I don't think we're going to have too much resistance here. Wandering Emperor. But right now it's an Archangel of Wrath time. Do we know of any? That is an instant. We do know of some stuff. So we Rite of Oblivion. Targeting that. Targeting our guy. Yep. He understands the shield stuff. The only way you learn is by getting burned by it. But shields do not protect you from exile. That's why we did an Archangel of Wrath there. Vigilance, that's it. Okay. Now, this is me just trying something out here. Because I think if we target this, it's not the target of a spell, it's the target of an ability from a spell. And we're gonna, test it out. And I would say that I'm right. There's the shield gone, there's him gone. Alright, that's game, basically. He's out of stuff to do. We have a really good board presence. We've got a Rite of Oblivion. We got a Wandering Emperor. If he gets out of this, yeah, it'll be impressive. But he doesn't. He does not. Let's go to a post-game wrap. So, we went through some matches, and this very consistently won a lot of the time. Weaknesses. What do I think needs to go? Varska needs to go. Eternal Wanderer needs to go. I don't know if they're good. I don't know if they're bad. But this deck, it just didn't feel like the right place for them. I was always sideboarding them for things like Lorien of the Path, Depopulates to get those board wipes going, Duresses at one point. So even a cut down, like cut down better than Vraska? I don't think so. But in this deck, in this situations, at least the situations that I know of, we didn't want them. Sheoldred's Edict, what did I think? It didn't help. It did not help in this one because Rite of Oblivion is obviously the better choice for this deck. It is a shame, but for this particular deck, Rite of Oblivion is much better, much more sound. Highlights. What did I think did really good? First off, I have to say that these lands here are pretty solid. You just have to be very careful with them because they look an awful lot like the Haunted Ridge. Very, very similar. So make sure you're playing the right one. at the right time. I kind of messed myself up with that just a little bit, but I mean, almost all of the matches still resulted in wins. So yeah, can't really say that it was too big of a problem. The biggest highlight for this deck was Mondrak Glory Dominus. This card did a lot for us, and yes, the tokens that are created from the reflections of Kiki Jiki do get copied with the Mondrak, so you could create 2 Archangels of Wrath and have them on the battlefield. It's pretty broken. That is pretty brutal. I don't know if these cards should exist together at all, but they do, so we're going to use it. Creating infinite harvesters, infinite blood. Yeah, that's pretty special. That's pretty special. I guarantee you could even copy Reckoner Bankbuster, swing in for what? That would be 8. Yeah. And if you swing with the actual Bankbuster, that's 12. That's 12 damage you could be swinging for pretty rapidly. Extra Samurais with the Wandering Emperor. I mean, it just does it all. And worst comes to worst, you play him on turn 4 with the wedding announcement out, and you get double the tokens. All together, all over the place. This card did very well. It does a lot of work in this deck in particular. I really thought it held its weight, and I would not replace 3 of these copies with anything else if you have the mythics to craft and you like this style of play. For this deck, if you're just copy and pasting this deck into Arena and giving her a go, and you craft the Eternal Wanderer and Vraska's Vraska Betrayal's Sting for this deck, you're doing it wrong. Like, it's just not where we want to be. We want more Emperors in here for sure. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. There we go. As far as a sideboard replacement for that, I don't know. Like, I'm really tempted to put like a Bankbuster in here, or maybe another Depopulate, or a Farewell. Farewell probably looks pretty good in here too. Yeah, put a Farewell in there on the sideboard instead. I'm going to actually post this one in the description just so you guys don't just copy and paste something over and realize that some of the cards absolutely sucked. Yeah, we're going to do that now. I want to grab that. This was a fun one. I think we're finally getting to a point where I'm starting to understand what place Phyrexia All Will Be One is going to have, and it's going to be to make the cards that were already close to being too strong, like Fable of the Mirror Breaker, like Wedding Announcement, like Blood Tithe Harvester with the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. These things that are just already almost too powerful. It makes them overwhelmingly so. You have to bring removal and remove Mondrak to have any sort of chance. I had a lot of fun with it. It was a great deck to kind of showcase and have fun with. But again, I'm running out of words. I'm rambling at this point. It is midnight here, so I'm going to go to sleep. Bye.